How you doing, Onshape people? This project development is specifically for my students, so I'm going to give a few pointers there, but this is going to be out there on YouTube for anybody else that wants to use it. So just presets to make sure that everybody's on the same page here. Workspace units need to be in millimeters for any of my projects. And for my students specifically, I want to make sure that you have your period preceding your name. Should have full name, so I'll put mine in just for clarity. And then I put the year in most often for any of the work that I'm doing. So that's a couple of little setup things. Also for my students, you want to make sure you share to my email address. And then, yeah, you're looking at visualization and reverse engineering parts. As you learn the software, you start to understand that the development world for 3D modeling is not specifically straightforward. Sometimes you have to use a piece of geometry like the cylinder to create a surface for a coil to go around, and you're going to sweep this material, and what goes on is the creation of a two-part system here, so you can hide one and you'll have the remaining part that you're looking to visually represent in space here. Same thing for something like a slinky. This can be done on a cone shape, it can be done on a cylindrical shape, anything that you can wrap a coil around. So we're just going to get started here. We're going to build this. All right, so these, if you make sure you rename them, it's definitely helpful for organization. I'm going to put in cleaner there. I'm just start on the top plane. Center point circle, click in the middle, click again anywhere beyond that outside, or that center point to the outside of it, and then you're going to 40 for the diameter starting dimension. Extruded to 75 millimeters. That's a mouse wheel push. It's a click to slide this thing down, and then I'm going to click helix, choose the outside of the cylinder, and this is not super technical as far as angular dimensions or anything like that. I'm just going to put in 20. Then this endpoint of this helix, the coil wraps around till it hits right there on the front plane. So we're going to draw a circle perpendicular to the endpoint of this helix on the front plane, like this. Click the front plane, activate a sketch. It's another center point circle. If you hover over that endpoint, you're going to get an indication that you're there. If you have to look at the front view, it's going to be a little bit easier, but you're going to click and pull. Again, it doesn't matter what you're going to put the measurement at, but it's a 3 millimeter dimension to accurately place that dimension. If you didn't, if you somehow entered or hit enter before you finish the circle dimensions, you can click on the dimension tool, click on the outside edge of the circle once, and then move your mouse away, and then click again, and it'll put the dimension box there. As soon as you see a white box, you can just plug in the number. You don't have to put the units as long as they're set the right way. But 3, as long as this measurement here is not more than half the distance between the coils, because if they overlap, it's going to create a problem. The program won't work. That's that for our sketch. You have sketch 1, sketch 2, and sweep is the tool we're going to use to create the geometry. You're going to click on it says face and sketch regions to sweep. This face right here is what we're talking about, the circle. And then you have to click, whenever you see a red field, you click in it, and then that'll allow you to choose the path that you're going to have something follow in this case. It's going to take a second to regenerate. I didn't click it right. Here we go. So it's going to follow that curve all the way up. And very important, you can see right now I only have one part. It's adding the coil to the cylinder in this case, and it's like welding them together. So we want to separate them by clicking new. And so that sweep is going to be a new part all on its own. And by clicking the check mark here and by changing the visibility for part 1, you'll see we have just the spring left. So it's a different type of process than you might think if you were just to open up a program like this and see a spring. Wouldn't necessarily know that it was built around a cylinder, but that's how it goes. And you can finish this up by clicking these visibility controls here. You might want to take it and angle it a little bit in a way that lets you see more of it. Finish off with everything nice and zoomed and visibility is turned off for things we don't need to see, and you're left with your nice little coil spring